A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to some more Survival of No Limits. And now we're going to go ahead and talk about something for number 120, which is going to be about adopting a pet. Because there are, in fact, lots of different ways that you can look at this entire scenario, but in a pinch, I can go ahead and explain of all the experiences I've had with visiting various animal shelters and organizations bent on rescuing certain creatures from doom, whether they be large, small, cute, or not cute, or otherwise. You can really look at animals in so many different ways. A lot of animals, though, don't really seem to have domestication built onto them. And you know what? That might be a good idea for a future episode, but anyways, with most animals, especially ones that are indeed domesticated, or at least bred to be domesticated towards humans, it does seem that every now and then there might be challenges that come by. But thankfully we do have a lot of resources around, including the internet and various novels to help guide our way to ensure that we don't have to worry too much about certain animals and the like dogs, cats, mouses, birds, or snakes, or otherwise becoming hostile against humanity. There's lots of ways that you can look at it, but there are sometimes the occasions where some animals are not necessarily friendly by any means towards humanity, which can be bad news. Adopting a pet, however, would seem to be an affair that most people wouldn't necessarily want to go through, unless of course they're willing to exercise a part of responsibility that would indeed be necessary. If you were hoping to have a child, however, it's a whole different story. Adopting a child is a whole lot different than adopting a pet, but at this point, let's just go ahead about the pet thing. Because there are lots of different pets to choose from. Lots of different animals that are indeed made to be domesticated towards humanity. But most of them, of course, they don't really do so well. And a lot of times, depending on their personality, the mindset, or otherwise, they can in fact be the exact opposite of what your expectations might be on the basis of how behavior at home might work out. Depending on what kind of animal you get, depending on a dog for the most part, as dogs are indeed one of the best animals you can in fact own as a pet. I mean, we've had tons of dogs in our lives. I myself have had plenty to choose from. I've had pugs, Yorkshire Terriers, Boston Terriers, and then of course there was that one moment where we had a rare black Pomeranian, and there were also some others here and there. Throughout my own history, I've had a bunch of different dogs in my lifetime. And I have not necessarily had the kind of money to adopt one of my own, but thankfully, with a lot of things considered, rescuing dogs has certainly been a pretty big trait of mine that I happen to utilize to the best of my advantage. And so, I can very well consider that to be a good option in case you're hoping to look forward to having an animal to take care of by any means, or if you're just wanting to exercise responsibility. But above all that, I can at least consider that most of the time whenever you're adopting a dog, for the most part, there are lots of things that you will need to consider though, especially when it comes to how to properly groom a dog, or could I just say, caretake a dog. As grooming, groomer, that kind of terminology has a whole different meaning nowadays, and I don't like it. Not one bit. But there are, in fact, tons of dogs out there that you can see for yourself. They are known to be very challenging. Akitas, Shiba Inus, and Dobermans. Those are typically known to be some very tough canine bred type of individuals out there. Lots of breeds out there, species of all sorts. They are indeed known to be a little more better at wreaking havoc than, simply put, being there for you at every step of the way. Human's best friend is not necessarily always going to mean human's best friend entirely, but yet we do look at it a lot of ways. And yet, to be fair, we are indeed going to be seeing a lot of dogs like this, probably until the end of time itself. Whether they be on screen or they be in real life, probably doesn't really matter too much. But, of course, the dog is still one of nature's greatest pets to ever have. Same thing would probably go with cats, birds, a mouse, a rat, a snake, or sometimes other things as well. But nevertheless, that's probably what I got to say about that. I probably don't really have a whole lot more to mention on how some other things might be necessary, because training, caretaking, feeding, and all sorts of things, dogs are very simple by any means. Probably other breeds as well, and other species of animals that are known to be pets by any means. So, well, that's probably just what I got to say about that. But if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.